how do you run a marathon? On paper, it's an easy question. You run 26.2 miles. But in practice, it's a little bit more challenging. The marathon itself has a wild origin story. Albeit highly disputed amongst historians, the most widely accepted version of this legend goes.
In 4090 BC, there was a battle in the ancient Greek city of Marathon. There was a Greek messenger by the name of Philippides. During the battle, he saw a Persian ship start to change their route to Athens. As the Greeks were winning, he saw this as a last-ditch effort by the Persians to swing the outcome. According to legend, he ran the 26.2 miles to Athens without stopping, and once he arrived, he yelled, "We have won!" before collapsing and passing away.
So yeah, he ran 26 miles and then died. And naturally, we made a race out of it. In order to not end up like our boy Philippides nuts. Sorry. In order to not end up like our old pal Phil, we're gonna need to figure out a good training plan. Turns out there's quite a few resources on how to run a marathon. So I was gonna have to buckle down a little bit and do some research. Ultimately, based on a recommendation from a friend who is a veteran runner, he led me to a website called halhigdon.com. Hope I said that right. We'll get into that a bit later. Here we are met with one of our first challenges. First of many, I should say. What time should I realistically be shooting for my marathon? To be honest, I have no idea. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I don't want to shoot for something too low where I don't get it and become discouraged and possibly burn out. But also I don't want to shoot for something too high where I don't feel like I pushed myself enough. So really, I'm just not gonna care. It's my first marathon. I'm gonna work my butt off in training and just see where it goes. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself when I haven't even begun training yet. And speaking of training, let's get into the details of that. So, as you can see, it's a whole lot of running. It's pretty straightforward besides a few things. One day it says cross, which means cross training, which is just basically you're just doing another form of training that isn't running. So in my case, I'll probably be doing biking or cycling, whatever, and maybe a little bit of walking here and there, throwing some workouts, and if I'm feeling freaky, maybe a little bit of yoga. Cross training is important because it gives you a chance to work on some other muscle groups that aren't really focused on too much while running, while also giving those muscles that are being worked on while you're running a little bit of a break and a chance to recover. The other thing this training guide brings up is pace runs, which basically just means, let's say you're trying to run a 4-hour marathon. So you'd want to run about a 9-minute, 9:09 pace. So on those days, you would run 5 miles at a 9:09 pace. Like I said earlier, I'm not really worried about that right now. So I'm probably just going to throw in some cross training, or my buddy who recommended this training program said to throw in some hills or something fun like that. So that's what we'll do. When we get to those Saturdays, we'll just think of something fun to do and go for it. So now we got all that complicated terminology out of the way. Let's jump into the bulk of things and look at the weekday runs. Starting off, we're just doing 3 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles, and then slowly working our way up from there. It's good to have a good solid Tuesday, work your way into a tough Wednesday, and then work your way back down on Thursday, and then rest Friday, Saturday, whatever the heck we end up doing. And then Sundays are our long runs. They're basically, this is where we get the miles in. I feel like this is where we're gonna see the improvement. These first couple Sundays are gonna suck ass. The first week we were running 8 miles. I haven't ran 8 miles since the summer, so that should be fun. Grand old time, looking forward to that. But yeah, as you can see, it just, we're working our way up. You can also notice on the Sundays, we go 8, 9, and then 6, and then 11. So what that is we're taking a little bit of break, stepping back a little bit before the even longer run, just to give ourselves a little bit more chance to recover, just so that 11 miles isn't such a slap in the face, which is actually super nice. That's why I really like this training over the other ones I've looked at. So yeah, that's basically the bulk of it. 18-week program. Mondays are cross. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are running at a relatively easy pace. Friday, rest. Saturday, we're just gonna call those our fun days for now. And then Sundays are long runs. And we're gonna do that every week until we run a marathon. Which is kind of scary thinking about it. But yeah, that's about it for the training plan. And next video, we're gonna be doing it, baby. As of today, it is February 9th, and training officially begins on, what day is that? February 12th is when we officially get going. That'll be a cross training day, like we discussed. Probably gonna do some biking. It is like, it's been like 50 degrees and it's February, which is kind of concerning, but we won't talk about that too much. And then we're in it. Probably wondering, how are you gonna keep track of that stuff? Great question. If you're like me, you find stuff hard to remember. You forget shit unless you write it down. So I'm doing 2 things. I got this nice little book. I'm gonna write down all my training stuff in, and also throw it in a Google Calendar, just so as an extra backup. I'll get a little notification on my phone, and yeah, I can go from there. This is my first time doing things, still figuring stuff out, obviously. If you got any ideas or suggestions, things I should do, let me know. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I'll see you in the thick of it next one. And yeah, what else do YouTubers, what are you supposed to say? Whatever. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye now.